Okay.
Well, see that? With my feet in.
Thank you all for coming today. We are very fortunate to have a very special lady with us. She has quite a story to tell. I've listened to her speak before, and I will tell you, it's not an unemotional visit. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Margaret Hopkovitz, one of our absolute JCC treasures.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Can I sit down with it?
Yes. We'll make it work.
If you want to sit down, you can hold it.
Maybe a little bit.
She can sit down and hold it.
I'd rather stand.
You'd rather stand? Okay.
Okay.
Good.
I want you to meet my granddaughters,
Hi.
Shayna and Evie.
Hi, Shayna and Evie. Why don't you guys take seats up front? Okay.
Where do you want us to sit?
Well, there's some seats over here, and we'll get some more seats for you. Yes, good idea. We'll get some more seats.
Okay, now, well, I just want to let you know I'm Margaret Hopkovitz, and I'm a Holocaust survivor, Auschwitz, Birkenau, and Bergen-Belsen. I was born in Czechoslovakia. It was just like little America, that in 1938. After 1938 was changed. We were surrounded with Germans, soldiers, and other peoples. So everything changed after that. I come from a family, my parents, my brother, and my sister. My brother and my sister passed away already, and so does my parents. They announced it in the town where we live. It was a small town, that every Jewish person should take some belonging with them and go to the school and wait. Well, of course, they didn't say how long we have to be away and whatever. Well, we did some belonging with us, but they took my brother already to control the mind for the enemies, which were the Germans, of course. So if he would be killed, it would be okay, but not the ordinary soldier. So my parents and my sister took some belongings and stayed in the school for a while. They announced that we will go to a bigger city where they accumulate all the Jewish people from around the town. Well, we were staying there for a while. We have very good neighbors, and they bring us some food there. So finally, we had to, the train came. Now, what kind of a train was it? It was not an ordinary train. It looked like a box, and you can sit only on the floor. Well, some people needed help to get up, and everybody sat on the floor. And we were surrounded with the Germans and their dogs. So finally, the train started to go. They didn't tell us where we're going. But when the train was getting slowed down, then we find out that we came in Poland, Auschwitz-Birkenau, the extermination camp. So everybody has to be rushed out from the train. Everything has to be real fast, fast. So we didn't know we had to stay in the lane and be counted. My parents and my sister and me. We didn't know what was going on in the front of the transport, all those people standing there in the lane. Until we came to the front of the people, which were, I don't know how many soldiers. One was the doctor. His name was Dr. Mengele, which I will tell you all about her later. Well, when we came to the front of those people, they took out my mother and my father and sent them to the left side. It was very fast, everything. We didn't even say goodbye, nothing. My daughter, Dr. Aviva Dansky. Well, then they look at us, those soldiers, my sister and me, they took us from the lane and sent us to the right side. And it was going on until everybody was selected. Well, we didn't know what's going to happen next. So the first thing what happened next, they shave us and give our different clothes and shoes to wear. I had a gray and blue striped dress which was lined in it. Nothing else. So they took us to a shower and gave us those dresses and took us to the place where we could rest. Well, we arrived in Auschwitz-Birkenau. It was already late in the evening. I could hardly recognize my sister with no hair on. Well, we tried to, the place where we had to relax, it was a 3-layer wooden bed, nothing on it. The time we arrived was in June 1944, so it was sort of warm. So and there was a lady who took us where we are and what we were supposed to do. We were in a camp where we are has to work. I have a tattoo in my arms, which is an A in front of it, which means in German Arbeit, working. 10,681 is my name. Well, in the early morning, in the wee hours, we had to get up and be counted. Not just like the block where we were, but the whole concentration camp, which was pretty big. So it took us staying in the line at least 2 to 3 hours and be counted. And that happened twice a day, one morning and one at night. So after that, I gave you a little coffee, and I want you to go and do some working. The place where we were staying, they didn't have a kitchen, so we had to carry the coffee from another camp. So that was our first job. And afternoon, they gave us a little soup, which didn't look like really a good soup, but we had to drink it if you wanted to live. We were surrounded with an electric wire. If somebody touched it, drop dead right away. And many people do that. We worked many places in Auschwitz. Now let me tell you that all those people who were on the left side, who went on the left side according to their people telling go on the left or the right. The left side was for people to be exterminated. Gas them and put them in a crematorium. So that's my parents went. We later find this out. People who used to work in a crematorium, they changed them pretty often, not to tell no one what's going on there, but they did. So what happened was, sister and me, I had to go and do some work. We had to do some cleaning and some gardening. But it wasn't hard, because most other people were doing different things and they were much heavier. Well, that was the day, and at night we have that soup, and that was it. Sometimes, at middle of the night, they especially do it to get us up and be counted at the middle of the night, just to make us more suffer. Well, how much you can suffer? I fainted in God always, and prayed with my sister. My sister I was happy that she was with me, but many people were by themselves and they just have to take it every day by day. Auschwitz was if you get a little bit sick, they put you to the place where you can get well, hopefully. If not, they case you and take you to the crematorium. I know many people who already died. Then go to the crematorium and get killed. Auschwitz, you know, the war was coming closer to Auschwitz-Birkenau. I mean the Russian army, because we were surrounded with the Russian and Americans to help us out. But they didn't come early enough. So they had to evacuate Auschwitz-Birkenau to go to another camp, which was Bergen-Belsen. A smaller camp. They didn't have a crematorium, but people dying like flies. And it was a smaller camp than Auschwitz. And so you have to try it out and see how it's going to be. There were many people already having typhus. Typhus is an illness that is very contagious, with a high fever. We all had a typhus. I had, my sister has it. They did not give you no medicine. They want you dead instead. So you just have to take whatever it comes. Many people has lice, so do I. Those people in Bergen-Belsen, they were just dying like flies. They threw them out in front of the barracks because they didn't have no crematorium, until there was a pile of humans, dead humans, in front of the barrack. It was raining on them and sunshine on them. Well, what can you do? Just wait and pray and see what's going to happen. The last thing they want us to do, to take the clothes what the people already have it, with full of lies, and put it to a different place. The lies is just sucking your blood up. Well, I guess I could make it with God's help. Well, we were surrounded very, very well with all the German soldiers, and to the end, the main officers sort of disappeared. They were just ordinary soldiers. Just went away. Let's find out that the war was getting closer. And we were liberated 1945, April 15. The British came in and told us that we are free. Well, so what you going to next? They sent us to the place to recover for half a year. So we stayed in a tent where we could eat normal food. And by the food what the German left her, it was poisoned. And many people who eat it died. So we went to a place where we could rest and waiting to go back home. Maybe my parents was home or my brother. No way. We came home and found a lady was living in our house. Then she moved out, and we didn't had no furniture, nothing. Everything was gone. The neighbors still were there. They gave us some food to eat. So finally, somehow, we got better. The war was over, April 1945. So everybody wanted to go home or somewhere. So they took us with a truck all over Europe because so many bridges was destroyed and trains didn't go. Well, finally we got home. My brother came later. He was liberated by the Russian. And he was doing okay. He was working in a kitchen. So he had enough food. So my sister got married to her fiancé, what was before, wanted to marry her. And she moved to that place and she wanted me to go with her. So I go with her and stay there until I got a lady who told me there is a young man who would like to meet me. He was coming to America. And I already packed my things to go to Israel. Well, I changed. I came to America and married my husband. We lived 50 years in San Antonio. And I met one of the soldiers from the British people who came to visit me. I had a picture with him. He liberated Bergen-Belsen. He told me he never see anything like that in his life. Well, that's why it happened. So we came to America and then we came to Dallas, where my daughter lives. There is she. So I came and I live here now because my daughter is with me and she's taking good care of me. Look after me. And I appreciate it very much. Well, if you like to know some questions, if you have any question, I would like to answer for you.
Margaret, have you seen any of the people that you were in the camp with since you were liberated?
Now those people I should stay appeal. We counted, they died. They were two sisters with us. They died to the end.
Margaret, when you went home, you didn't know if your parents were dead.
I went home to Czechoslovakia. And over there I went to stay with my sister. She lived in a different part.
When did you find out your parents had
My parents never came back. I'm sure they were upset. I mean, I see my father's eyes has tears. He knew there is no way to come out from there. Well, I'm doing this true story for those people who couldn't make it. Little kids with their mother. Mother went to the camp and guessed with their mothers. Just because they were Jews. So it makes me feel better if I talk about those who never came back.
How old were you, Margaret,
I was 21.
when you went into the camp?
21. Do you have any question?
Mickey does. Margaret, most of us that are here that remember those days, we were children then. We weren't old enough to know much of what was going on.
Were you children?
We were children.
Yeah, but how old you were?
I was 7 years old when the war started.
Well, you were with your parents,
Yes, I was in Chicago.
Chicago.
Yes, and if we knew about it, we didn't know much about what was going on in Europe. The only way that I think that people found out about what happened, about people being taken away, was the families in Europe contacted their families in America and let them know. Because, for instance, you know Joe, my Joe. He was in the Merchant Marine. He was over there in Europe. He said they didn't know
No.
what was going on. He was right there and didn't know what was going on.
I mean, they kept this in a secret.
Yes.
That those people who were working in a crematorium, taking out them and burn them. So later they were killed too, because they didn't want them to spread the news. But they did anyway.
They kept it a secret what was going on.
Yes.
All these concentration camps and all these.
There are so many concentration camps.
Yes, there's more than you think. There's how many? I mean,
42,000.
yeah, thousands of concentration camps.
42,000.
And how the German people did not know this is just beyond me.
I just feel sorry for those little kids
Yeah.
with their mother hanging on them. They don't know what to do with them.
Right.
By the way, I forgot to tell you that away to going to Bergen-Belsen, we have to march on the highway in a big snow. I'm just having that one dress on, and I was okay.
How many miles was that? How far?
It was a day and a half march.
And you had no coat. No coat.
No coat, just one dress.
Period.
That dress had a lining, and I tell you about the lining that helped me to get a raw potato. I was working in a kitchen. You know, when you work in a kitchen, you might have something to eat. So I had that dress with a lining, and I opened up the side and put 2 potatoes down in the ham. Of course, they test you when you go out from the kitchen. But they didn't test me on the hem of the dress. That apple tasted to me, that potatoes tasted to me like an apple. I mean, I was a Muslim, skin and bone. But I don't know, I was just type of a skinny girl. My sister always was heavier. But I felt okay, I mean, never got sick, only when the typhus. I thank the God for all that, but He saved me and my sister. So whatever happened to you, you just have to be busy, keep on working, and think something else beside where you were, in a bad place. If it's a good place, you enjoy it.
Margaret, what would you think about?
What did I do about?
What did you think about?
What I think about? What I think about to be free, get married and have children. And of course, if I have my sister still living with me, you know, to have a family, besides not to have a parents.
How did your brother make it through?
My brother, he was looking for a mine, exploded on the field. They took him before us. They were looking for the mine because they would die, if they would die, it's okay. but not these other people.
Margaret, I'm the child of Holocaust survivors, and what you said about having a sibling or a friend with you is what saved most people's lives. My mother was a child in the camp. She was 9 when she was in the ghetto, and she had an aunt that she survived with who's an adult, about your age, had a child, didn't survive, and this aunt was such a go-getter and knew how to get stuff and trade stuff, and because of that, my mother, who, when they finally got to Ravensbrück, because they took him out of Auschwitz, was able to survive. She was very sick at the end, but this aunt somehow got her through it. And it's what you so said, when they were by themselves, they had so little chance, because they had no one to love them, no one to feel humanity. There was nothing. All you had was brutality, and that relationship was so critical to survival. It really was. What you said was so true. And thank you for telling me today.
Well, you just, what can you do if you are there? You just have to take day by day, one by hour. You go to sleep and you wake up. And here you are again, the same thing. So, all those places, I mean, in Bergen-Belsen wasn't no bad at all because there were so many people there. So they're just sitting and on the floor and like sleeping. They would be